Hi there, in this video we're going to take simple drawings and repeat them over and over again to make these cool patterns. Alright, let's go and do it now in Adobe Illustrator. Alright, to make our pattern we need to draw something. We're just going to draw something simple, another ice cream like you saw. Okay, so rectangle, another rectangle. Ours is going to be a little bit simpler this time. I'm going to select both of them with the black arrow and I'm going to make sure they're aligned. Okay, I'm going to grab my white arrow, select the top two, make them quite bendy. Select this one, hold shift, select that one, and make these just a little bendy. Okay, and I would like to make this shorter. It's a bit too thick. And the other thing I'd like to do is add the bite marks. So we're going to use some of the tools we learned in previous tutorials. So I'm going to draw a circle. Okay, I'm going to zoom in. Does that look like a bite mark? Kind of does. So I'm going to have 1, 2, and then 3. Select them all. Okay, then grab my shape builder. Love the shape builder. I'm just going to minus through all of this stuff. Goodbye. Awesome. Kind of looks like a bite mark. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is get a size of the stroke that I like. Yeah, it's good. Pick a color that I'm going to use. All right, any color, Dan. All right, so I've got this. I'm going to rotate mine around, and we're going to show you a couple little features as we go along, not just the pattern tool. So say I want to reflect this, because it happens a lot when you're building patterns, right? You want to kind of step and repeat. So I've got this guy. I'm going to group it. Okay, I'm using object group. I'm actually using the shortcuts now. We're that far through the course now, so we're starting to use shortcuts. So I've grouped them, and what I'd like to do is reflect it. So I've got 2 of them. So I'm going to go to Object, Transform. There's one here called Reflect. And make sure preview is turned on, and I'm going to reflect horizontally, vertically. Click O, actually not clicking OK, because that'll just flip it. I want to click copy. Okay, so I've got a copy of it as well. So I want 2 of them. Awesome, so now I need to turn it into a pattern. So I'm going to select both of them. And actually before we do this, there's it's really good to go through and get a kind of a rough size. So this is like a US letter size. Now this pattern is just too big. So it's harder to do it afterwards is what I'm saying. It's easy to get it to kind of a rough sort of size here before you go in. If yours is not resizing nicely, click off in the background and make sure, because with this off, it does some weird stuff, right? It keeps the stroke, gets kind of a bit too chunky. So you might have to click off in the background, scale, stroke, and effects. Okay, so with it selected, coming down to a more appropriate size. It's going to work for me. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and we're going to open up the magic tool. It's got a really lame name. Window, and it's called Pattern Options. It should be called Super Duper Pattern Options or something, because it does some cool things. Now, by default, it doesn't seem to do much, but we're going to click on this option here and say Make Pattern. And it's telling you that it's made a swatch in the swatches panel. It's opened it up. Don't worry, we'll look at that in a second. Just click OK. And yeah, it's gone through and we're starting to repeat already. Instantly, it looks awesome. Copies, it'll copy forever. This is just like a preview. I want to see 9 by 9, just kind of covers the screen. And I don't like it when it dims it for some reason. I like it just looking all the same. Now what you're going to do, give it a name. This is going to be my ice block pattern. Okay, and you can decide here by playing with these options how it kind of steps and repeats them. So let's have a look. They're just slight differences. Grid, brick by row. Okay, it's kind of cool. I feel like there's a wallpaper in there somewhere. Brick by column. Hex by column. There's all sorts of different ways. Now the cool thing about it is that I'm kind of liking that is that these 2 guys are still draggable. Watch this. I can kind of move them around to offset them a little bit to try and get some sort of thing. You can copy and paste and have another one. Okay, you might decide you've got a 3rd one that kind of wraps around this way. It's up to you how you want to do it. Okay. Yeah, kind of liking it. All right, so I've got my ice creams. And the next thing I need to do is, that's it, I kind of close this down and nothing seems to happen. Okay, I don't need my swatches at the moment. And then you're kind of stuck in this limbo. Okay, up the top here, for some reason they decided to add it up here. Okay, it's a little bit weird. So I'm going to click done. And then it gets even weirder. You're like, where'd the pattern go? Okay, and it just means that these guys here were kind of like, I used them to get started, but I don't need them anymore. I'm going to delete them. What I need now is I'm going to grab the rectangle tool and I'm going to zoom out a little bit so I can draw a rectangle around my whole page. Nice. And the fill color, what it said to you earlier on, it says, we've made a swatch for you in here. And it's hard to see. It's a tiny one. There it is, ice cream block. Click on him. Magic. Cool, huh? Okay, so that is how to create and use your pattern thing. Do I like it? Yeah, it's kind of cool. Next thing to know about it though is, say I want to resize. I want to make this box smaller. So I resize it, and what it does is it starts distorting it. Can you see? That's maybe not what I want. So I'm going to undo it. So if you didn't get it the right size and you want to kind of, I guess, don't want the pattern to change. You want to resize the box, but please pattern don't move. Okay, the easiest option, or there's a couple of ways. The easiest option is to go to, I've got this selected, go to Window, and go down to your Transform panel. In this panel, there's a little hamburger menu, click on him, and that's what it's defaulting to. It's transforming both the box and the pattern within it. What you can say is actually just transform the object only, please. Now when I drag it, look what happens. Can you see the pattern stays the same size, but this object kind of changes shape. Cool, so the problem with that though is that when you've stopped using it, that'll be on forever, and that'll be really weird later on. So you can go back and just turn it back to both when you're finished. Another thing to know is that, I'm going to close him down, is that at the moment he's part of my fill here, I can see him, but if I open up a new document, just leave everything default, open it up, you'll notice it's gone. If I draw a rectangle in here, gone. I've got this one, this is the default one from Illustrator, it's been there for ages. I'm sure somebody put a lot of effort into it, but it's, I don't know, it's dated now and this one gets worse. Okay, but I laugh at those ones, I shouldn't. So if you want to bring them through from one document to another, all you need to do is copy an object that has it in it and paste it in. It doesn't matter if you even use it. I'm going to delete it now and select this, and you'll notice that because I just pasted it in, it brought it in with it. It's now part of this document. All right, one last thing, okay, is I love doing this and then sending it to a site called Spoonflower. Okay, Spoonflower is, it's a way of taking your patterns and getting them printed at short runs. So you can send it off and get fabric made, wallpapers made, gift wrap made. It's super cool. So yeah, I'm not going to go through the whole process here, but let's have a look at how it works, their process, just so you get a basic understanding. Upload your design, choose what kind of fabric it's going on, and then they send it to you. They do really short runs, like by the meter, or what do you guys Americans use? By the foot? Yard. Yeah, that's what you use. Okay, so you can upload it and you can try and sell on here as well, but it's just really nice to get stuff turned up. They have all sorts of different fabrics. Okay, I said I wouldn't go into it. I'm totally going into it. Products. They have lots of fabrics down here. Okay, and all different prices. And it kind of depends on volume. So short runs, they also have like a swatch book. That's what I've got in front of me here. It's it just gives you like a tiny snippet of all the different fabrics so you can get a feel for them before you order them. Okay, and yeah, it's great having your own stuff, turn it into cushions, fabric coverings, wallpaper. Wallpaper I like, that's the one I do the most. But like presents for gift wrapping. Okay, that's it from Spoonflower. And that's it from Adobe Illustrator and the patterns. And what I'd like to do is, it's one of those things where I'd love to see your design. Okay, so I drew an ice cream. You could continue on the summer theme, okay, or maybe some hand-drawn things. I just want to see your pattern. So drop it in the projects or in the comments. I'd love to see what you've done. And yeah, that'll be the end of this one. All right, I'll see you in the next video.